Hello and welcome. It's beautiful morning. We're happy to see you here at our webinar today. I'm hoping you see us and me. Here's Emilia and Valerie. And before we start, I would love to know, where are you located? So please write it down in the chat. Where are you located? So we can also already try and see where you are from. I am located in Munich. So everyone can put down in the chat, where are you located right now? Looking forward to see you. Berlin. What else do we have? Czech Republic, Germany, Vienna, Prague, Germany.
Oh, that's Bielefeld. I did live there for a long time.
From Munich too. Hello, Manchester, Kiel. Wow, Austria. From UK. Hi, Rich. Hi, Nila. Hi, Thomas. Hi, Anze. Oh, Ljubljana. I love Ljubljana. So many countries here. Love it. Just love area. Hi, Pia. Great. In Kiel. Oldenburg, Bremen. Nice, nice, nice. Hi, Marek. Poland, Hamburg. Turkey. Hey, Tana. Netherlands. We're like already like seven different countries, right? Great.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Happy to have you here all. Um,
Maybe again.
yeah, we're quite happy. I would say we start. Shall we, Amelia?
Yeah, I think we're good. There might be a few people joining in the meantime, but let's not wait too long so we
Yeah,
can
so
still
you will get
start.
the best out of it. So, well, first I would love to introduce me, because I mostly invited you with together with Ingrid in the Marketplace universe. Um, As far as you didn't know me already or something, my name is Valerie Dichtel, and I am I'm the founder or like creator of the Marketplace Quadrants. Who knows those quadrants already? You know what? I would love to know which one you love the most. You can write it down. You can see here all the quadrants we have. So what we usually do is like, we are sharing overviews on LinkedIn so far. Um, on the relevant marketplaces for your category in Europe, B2C marketplaces. So we shared about fashion and shoes. We do this from budget segment to luxury segment, and from everything marketplace to specialized marketplace. So if you want to have more insights about the quadrants, you can always look on my LinkedIn profile, and we have like one about do it yourself in garden, home and living, beauty and care, baby and kids, sports, electronics, and jewelry and watches. And if you want to get to my LinkedIn profile, you can scan this QR code or just type in my name, or if we are not connected yet, which I don't believe in. And well, I used to be an Amazon vendor manager on the dark side. Sometimes I say I'm saying it, and I got to know already many fashion brands back then, and then I changed to be a marketplace manager for a fashion brand. Need to build this topic up, and I was like completely feeling alone in my own company, like in this company. And I quit my job, got self-employed 5 years ago, started as a marketplace consultant, and then I founded the Marketplace Uni, where I educated marketplace managers in how to sell on online marketplaces. And in the meanwhile, I founded together with Ingrid Lammer the Marketplace Universe, where it's our goal to be the home for all marketplace people in Europe, to inform you, to educate you on our podcast, LinkedIn, our newsletter. So this is something just about us. Is like, here you can always go into the Let's Talk Marketplace podcast. We do it alternating in German and English every week. This week we talked about retail media in Germany. last weeks we talked about TikTok shop, about jewelry marketplaces, etc. So there's like a lot of diversity, and we also have a marketplace newsletter where you get news every week in your email box directly. So if you want to take part on this one, you can all get the links also on my LinkedIn profile, and you can also find us the podcast always on Apple and Spotify. So follow us. But now I would love to hand you over to Emilia, because Emilia is working for Allegro, which is our partner at the Marketplace Universe. We are working together since beginning of this year, where we support Allegro, where we promote Allegro, and where we share so many insights. And I have to say, I learned also a lot about the Central Eastern Europe market, and I love to share this with or like Emilia shares this knowledge with you today as well. So welcome, Emilia. Hi.
Thank you, Valerie. Let me just pull up my slides and I'll tell you who I am, because, well, it would make sense to tell you why I think I can tell you something about Central Eastern Europe. So, just like Valerie said, I work at Allegro. I'm a business sourcing partner. I've been with the company since December 2019, so quite a few years already. I used to be a key account manager for European companies, actually EEA region, so a bit bigger area. And then I changed into business development and sourcing activities. So that means I try to get as many of you as possible onto the Allegro platform, but I also go to different events. I try to promote the region as such, because I've realized that many sellers don't have a clue about Central Eastern Europe, and they are not aware of the opportunities they might find here. So that's what I will try to sell you on today. That is the whole region. There will be quite a few building blocks, but I'll try to guide you through that smoothly. So we're going to start with some introduction into the region, and I'll tell you why I think you should think about this part of Europe right now. Central and Eastern Europe is quite unique when it comes to consumer behavior. So we're going to talk about loyalty and trust in this part of Europe. Delivery model, as you guys know, probably is a very important part of your strategy. So we're going to talk about that as well as how to choose the right products, how to make sure that your offers are well created, and last but not least, how to smoothly enter Allegro. And we will have time for Q&A at the end. But if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to use the chat. The chat is open all the time. I will stop every now and then, and we can just go through some of your questions. There are also a couple of my colleagues with us here, and they will answer some of your questions straight away in the chat. So feel free to just spam us with your questions. So without further ado, a few words about Allegro, because some of you might know us, some of you might not know us. So Allegro is a horizontal B2C marketplace. It's a pure marketplace. That means that we do business mostly from what our sellers do. And that's something different to, for example, Amazon that you might know. We don't do any vendor kind of business model. If someone, because I know that sellers often ask about that during events. So we do have an Allegro store account on our platform. But we don't really use it. We just use it to fill in product gaps in some major categories, but we actually generate probably less than 1% of our total GMV from that store. So we do not use it at all to sell as such on the platform. We originated in Poland. It's been 24 years already. So we've been developing together with the Polish e-commerce market. And we basically know the Polish customers quite well. And we are now actually expanding to other countries. So we've launched localized Allegro platforms in Czechia and Slovakia. So right now you can sell directly to those 3 countries, and there will be more markets in the region coming quite soon, but I'll keep it to myself for now. We have got 14 main product categories, so you'll find yourself in different categories here. Just a few numbers: 19.6 million active buyers across the region. The majority comes from Poland. Like I said, we've been on the market for a long time, so this is not a surprise, but we hope it's going to change very soon. And we're doing pretty great, happy to say that. So we've had 11.2% year-over-year growth in GMV in 2023, and that is around 13.6 billion euro. So that makes me think that I'm a good person to tell you something about the region. And starting with that, so we all know that the last few years were really tricky for the markets worldwide. And I just checked some data from a European e-commerce report, and that states that obviously for 2022, the growth rates for the whole European e-commerce sector, B2C sector, was much lower than in 2021. There is the report states the expectations towards 2023 that we've just closed as slightly improving, but they also checked how it looks like when they take into account inflation adjusted numbers, and that looks definitely worse. So for the first time ever, the sector plunged in 2022, and this was at -2%. And the reason why I'm showing you that is that the situation is completely different in Central and Eastern Europe. So here are a few numbers from my region. So when we take into account the last 5 years, the annual growth rate for the e-commerce market in the CEE region is at 14%. The inflation-adjusted growth just in Eastern Europe, contrary to what happened throughout the whole continent, actually increased by 5%. And we're going to talk mostly about Poland today because that's where we've got the biggest database of consumers. But in Poland, whose population is 14.3 million right now, 79% of internet users are online shoppers. So this is really promising. And even though the markets in Central and Eastern Europe might be smaller, they actually exceed the EU average when it comes to the share of online shoppers. And this is very, very impressive. Also, they show very high e-commerce share in their whole retail sector. And I'm showing you all of that to make you realize that this part of Europe is very attractive. Although you might be used to thinking about Western European countries and those big markets, if you think about this region, it's not that saturated, and it's also developing very, very fast. So what I want to stress is that it's a perfect moment to time the market because the competition is not as big as in the Western Europe. The market is not that saturated. So in other words, instead of having just a very small slice of a big cake, you might actually have a big slice of the Central and Eastern European cake here.
So what would be super interesting is like, who of you has already experience in selling into the Central Eastern European market? You can write it down in the chat. It would be super interesting to know who of you has already experience in selling into the Eastern European market. No one. I tried with Amazon. Yes, I have. Great. Who else has already experienced? Okay, I would say there are like many people who got like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's good to see that you've had different experiences and that you've tried different countries and different platforms. Very happy to see that. So let us move forward, and I'll tell you why some things might work and why some things might not work that much. So, first things first, marketplaces are loved in this part of Europe, period. If we look at the consumer journey in Poland, then we can see that as many as 38% of online buyers start with a marketplace. Then 26% start looking for products via Google. And then 9%, as a first step, go to multi-brand online stores. So obviously you can see that the easiest point of entry is a marketplace. But here's a plot twist. Namely, people in this part of Europe show something I call local patriotism. So they basically prefer shopping on domestic websites. And for the Polish market, which is the biggest one, it's 75% of online buyers who shop primarily on Polish websites. But I also checked the stats for Czechia, and that's even higher. As many as 86% of Czechs make domestic online purchases. What that means is that people in the CEE region, they want content in their local languages. So think about localization. And they heavily prefer regional e-commerce players. So that might explain why some points of entry are, let's say, trickier. So do think about some regional players. If you want to enter this market, it might make your life easier. And now is the sales pitch coming. But well, this is something that comes from the exact same report that showed you that marketplaces are number one, let's say, product search engines in the country. So first choice marketplaces for Polish online buyers, I'm happy to say that, is Allegro with 88%. And only then we've got AliExpress, 4%, 1% for Amazon, and approximately 7% for all other marketplaces. So I dare to say that Allegro might be a really good entry point for you. And that's also because it's kind of like a household brand in Poland. So according to Gemius, and Gemius releases the biggest report on Polish e-commerce each and every year, spontaneous recognizability of e-commerce platforms looks as follows. So 85% Allegro, 36% OLX, 19% Zalando, and then we've got 17% for Amazon and 15% for AliExpress. That means that if, like, when Polish online buyers were approached and asked to name and just spontaneously an e-commerce brand, that's what they said. So local patriotism, I would say. And to translate it into more tangible results, I would like to show you the traffic, because the traffic will be something that is important for you. Frankly speaking, on this slide, numbers are not important. I wanted to show you the scale. So this chart here shows marketplace monthly visits approximately in millions in Poland. So as you can see, very much at the top, we've got Allegro, and then much, much lower, all other marketplaces. So Amazon and AliExpress, the ones that I showed you earlier, are also mixed somewhere in between. And what I want you to understand here is that in this part of Europe, established and well-trusted marketplaces give you access to a database of very loyal digital users who are used to the infrastructure and who prefer to buy from their trusted brands. You can access different customer groups, and the traffic that is already there. So you can take immediate advantage of that. You don't need to build it up from scratch yourselves. And speaking about loyalty, Central and Eastern Europe, Europeans love loyalty programs, although I think it's quite universal throughout the world. We customers like such things. So it's not a surprise that in CEE there's also a loyalty program on Allegro, Allegro Smart. It's actually the biggest one in this part of Europe. And that, to make a long story short, provides buyers with free delivery, free returns, and special deals. Obviously, everybody loves that. And it's available if you ship from Poland, for sellers, if you ship from Poland, with multiple delivery options, because it's been there for many, many years. But we also launched it for a few other countries a few years ago. So that also applies to you if you ship from Germany, France, the Netherlands, the Czech Republic, with DHL, DPD, or UPS. So here there's a bit of a limitation which delivery methods fall into that. If you've got a warehouse or if you use a 3P fulfillment solution located in Poland, then there will be many other delivery options that just fall into the program. What's really nice about it is that we as Allegro, we partially co-finance the delivery cost, because what we want to achieve with this program is obviously like free delivery and free returns for buyers. So some sellers might not have the full capacity to provide it. So we actually add our part to it. And just to give you a general idea which elements fall into that, then obviously you would need to enable certain delivery methods. We've got some requirements on that. The delivery cost needs to be either zero or very low, so that it just balances, and provides this free delivery and returns. And your account quality as such, metrics that you might know from all other platforms, something that basically says how well you're doing, it needs to be high, because basically we want to prioritize, we want to promote, I should say, those accounts, those sellers that are doing well, that provide good customer service and that make our customers happy. A very important point here: you can get Allegro Smart Badge maybe just for some part of your offers. So let's say you are not able to ship all of your products with some of those required delivery methods, but you're able to move just, I don't know, let's say part of your stock to a Polish warehouse and ship these things from there, and you fall into those categories of requirements. That's fine. That means that those offers will have the smart badge and the rest won't. It's not that you need to meet requirements for all your assortment. It's not something that's linked to an overall account, so you can play a bit with that, which is really nice, because you can actually decide what stock to keep closer to the end consumer, or not.
There's a question from the team. So, like from Christian, he asked, like, if you do have a logistics setup as fulfilled by Allegro, or is it possible to use multi-channel fulfillment by Amazon?
We do have fulfillment by Allegro, and I will give you more details on that. When it comes to Amazon, it's a bit tricky. The reason for that is that Amazon usually ships with branded packaging, with Amazon branded packaging, and this is something we wouldn't want to see on Allegro. Obviously, this is direct competition. So what I used to say to potential sellers was that if Amazon makes it possible to ship with neutral packaging, that's fine. although you would need to have a return address in the proper place. So practically speaking, it doesn't work because Amazon ships with Amazon labels on it. So sorry about that, but we wouldn't want to see that. A few things strictly for you as sellers, why this smart might be a good idea. To translate it into numbers, obviously, if someone's got a loyalty program, they tend to buy more. So smart buyers place orders 5 times more often than those who have no loyalty program. As a result, smart offers are 3 times more popular than all other offers. So it makes sense to enable smart for at least some of your offers. We also do some campaigns dedicated purely to smart offers, so that gets additional visibility and increases traffic. And we've actually checked how international sellers are doing, depending on whether they do have the smart offers or not. And it turns out that those who have smart offers tend to grow up to 54% faster. So this is something you would want to have. And let's now take a look at more specific preferences of online shoppers. And here, well, those of you who are Game of Thrones fans, I would call this section "You Know Nothing, Jon Snow." The reason for that is I want to ask you, I want to talk about delivery method. So with regards to delivery method, there is a strong tendency toward home delivery, which is preferred by 79% of the respondents on average. That comes from 7 senders. The problem is that it's about Western European countries. So I want to ask you a question, namely, what, in your opinion, is the most popular delivery method in Poland?
You can write it down in the chat, right? That was a fast one.
Yeah.
Other suggestions? And we also have a lot of other questions in between. We will answer your questions in between the presentation or at the end. So don't worry, we will answer everything.
Yeah, so that's actually one more thing. We will keep some of, let's say, juiciest questions till the end for the Q&A. So don't worry about that. Okay, I see quite a few responses. So let's check. And I would say many of you were right, because preferred delivery method in Poland is a parcel locker. And it's as much as 82% of all orders that go straight to parcel lockers. So this is completely different compared to Western European countries. So that means that just by providing this delivery method, you can access many more consumers. So if you're able to, please do try to provide this delivery method. It's the most frequently used one. Obviously, courier delivery is still a very strong one and very much needed one. Here we've got a drastic difference between the number you saw earlier, that is 79% for Western European countries, and 42% for Poland, but it's still very, very important. So here a note, going back to the Allegro Smart, I would say try to check if the carriers you cooperate with fall into the Allegro Smart ones, either from Poland or from abroad, to make sure that you provide buyers with the smart offers. And the third most frequently chosen delivery method in Poland is partner pickup points. I don't know whether any of you have checked that, but we actually have a lot of places, not necessarily parcel lockers, that partner with different carriers, and pickup points are also very popular in this country. And now, regarding delivery time. Here you see another quote from, again, Seven Senders. So probably it's not a surprise that this is about Western Europe, where as many as 87% of respondents can accept longer delivery, and basically a lot of people just allow 3 to 4 days. The situation might look slightly different for the Central and Eastern Europe, but before we jump into that, a note. On Allegro, it's you who decide on your delivery model. You think you've kind of sensed it from previous slides, but I want to stress it. It's up to you. It's a full marketplace model, so you decide where to ship from, how fast, which methods, whatever you want to do. You have full flexibility and control. But obviously, with great, power comes great responsibility. That means take into account your consumer preferences if you want to sell a lot. And we actually checked how our international sellers were doing depending on the delivery time. So what happens when a buyer adds a product to the cart that comes from international sellers listing, and whether they finish the transaction, they close the transaction when they see how long the delivery time is. It turns out that if the delivery is within 48 hours, there is a 50% chance to sell on Allegro. It's pretty much like that across all platforms. But if your delivery time is as long as up to 7 days, your chances to sell drop drastically to an average of 20% across all categories. So it might be 17% in one, 21 in the other one, on average 20%. So a drop of 30%. That's why it's important for you to see how fast you can be in this part of Europe. You can maximize your sales by fast and low-cost delivery, adding those multiple delivery methods, and participating in loyalty programs. So I would like you to think ahead when you think about joining a marketplace. Ask yourselves a few questions. How fast can I ship? Can I incorporate some delivery methods that are strongly preferred on a given market? Are there any particular things like loyalty programs I should pay special attention to, like Allegro Smart? Maybe you can choose some delivery methods that fall into that. Would you rather use your own warehouse? Do you have your own warehouse, maybe in Poland or in other country that provides you with faster delivery? Or is it better for you to use 3P services or maybe marketplace fulfillment? So here I would like you to think about these questions for a moment and tell us what your biggest challenges are when it comes to delivery. Do write it on chat. I see. Shipping costs versus volume. Yeah, it can be tricky. Okay, warehouse that is not located in Germany. I understand that you would like to maybe ship faster, but it's difficult if you don't have your own warehouse anywhere else. One more reason for me to use Allegro fulfillment. Happy to hear that, even though I haven't even said a word about it. Okay. Right. I guess most of you will have very similar challenges. So let's jump to that very topic we mentioned. So fulfillment. Our solution is called One Fulfillment by Allegro. And we tried to do our best to design something that will solve many problems. Very happy to be able to tell you about it, actually, because we didn't used to have it only a few years ago. I think we launched it, I don't know, 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, maximum 3. and right now it's doing great. We provide here order and return handling 24/7 and post-sales customer service in local languages. Remember what I said about localization and things like that? And let's be honest, I'm very happy that I don't have to learn Polish, because that would be very difficult. It's not the easiest language in the world. I'm happy I was born here and I don't have to do it. The Czech and Slovakian might not be easy either. So here you actually get customer service in local languages, meaning that as soon as your products reach our warehouse, we kind of take over from here. The only questions that might be directed to you would be those that are strictly about maybe your product. So something that we as Allegro team might not be the best ones to answer, very specific product questions. Otherwise, all the questions like, is my order shipped? Where is my parcel? Etc. All these things, they're on us. When it comes to delivery time, we do our best to stay within those 48 hours. So for Poland, it's same day delivery or latest next day, depending on the part of the country. Our warehouse is located nearby Warsaw. So obviously, and Warsaw being the capital city, has got the best cut-off times. So within this area, same day delivery is nearly guaranteed. And for Czechia and Slovakia, delivery is within 2 business days. There are multiple delivery methods matching Allegro Smart, because obviously, like I said, we've been on the market for a very long time. So we cooperate with multiple carriers and we are integrated with many different logistics companies. So that actually solves a lot of problems for you. Something that I like very much is that if you join our Allegro One fulfillment, you get a key account manager from day one. This is not an obvious thing, because in general on Allegro, like, let's leave fulfillment services aside, key account manager is just like the name suggests, for key accounts. So you get it only when you reach a certain level. It's free of charge, but you get it only when you either show great potential or reach a certain GMV level, etc. That might differ. With one fulfillment, you get that straight away. And this person is extremely helpful. They can help you evaluate how much space you need in your warehouse. They can help you pick the right assortment and so on. I'll tell you a bit more about it later. A very important requirement is a Polish VAT. This is an EU-wide law. Wherever you store your goods, that's where you need to have VAT number, period. So obviously, if our warehouse is located in Poland, that means you need to have Polish VAT number. And we do realize that obtaining a VAT number in any country really might be tricky. So we partnered with Cash Director to help our international sellers get this VAT number faster. So that's less stress for you, time win, and we actually have the means to cover the cost of obtaining this VAT number. So we try to make it as easy for you as possible. And when it comes to benefits, well, apart from the ones that are listed here, also it translates directly to sales. 56% of average sales growth for top 60 sellers with one fulfillment by Allegro. So this is not a surprise, because your whole delivery model is optimized. And now we will go to the section about best assortment and offers. So before we jump there, maybe you could tell us which categories you sell in. Do write it on chat. I'm very curious where you come from and what you sell.
Yeah, because as far as we know from which category you are, we can also support you even better in insights and best practices. Kids wear, home and garden. Some of you I know is like a lot of like fashion brands are here. We have electronics, fashion and baby. I think you make sunglasses, Christian, right? Monica, fashion, like lots of fashion. Ooh, okay, yeah. Like maybe there is like my influence there somehow. What else do we have? Faith in so health and beauty. Yeah. Hey, Andrew. What other categories do we have here? I think that there's like also like something like home and garden somewhere or tools. Huh? Domestic appliances. What is this? Groceries, electronics, home and garden.
Domestic appliances, I guess it would be either electronics or home and garden, right?
Could be. Home and garden, home and garden. Yeah.
Okay, right. So I checked literally yesterday what were what the top 5 categories out of all 14, obviously, uh, from our EEA sellers were just last year. And that's what I found out. In terms of GMV, the leading category was home and garden. And this is actually, because like I said here, I checked purely international sellers, like excluding Polish sellers. This is very important. I just wanted to check how our international sellers did last year from European Economic Area. But home and garden is actually one of the leading categories, and usually the leading category from like in different seller groups. So in Poland, in international sellers globally, etc. So this is a very strong category. Electronics, this is always very, very high on the list. Here you see it when it comes to GMV as number 2. Health and beauty. Many of you also mentioned that this is also a very strong category, and the one that's developing very, very fast, I must say. Automotive is a really good one, and sports and leisure. And if we think about quantity sold, we've got home and garden again. Like I said, this is a super strong category. There's supermarket appearing suddenly, but if you think about it, it's not a surprise. In supermarket, we usually have slightly cheaper products, but we sell big quantities of them. That also means that they can rotate very fast in warehouses. So health and beauty again. I don't know if you're aware of that, but actually the polls are very much. I would say that we are a bit crazy about supplements. Yeah. I don't think there's any politically like, correct or like soft term for that. We are crazy about supplements. So this is a nice category. Electronics, again, obviously slightly lower when it comes to number of items sold, because these are usually slightly more expensive things, and we need them in fewer quantities. And then we've got fashion, not a surprise. But that doesn't mean that other categories are not doing great, because if we look at Allegro overall, also including Polish companies, etc. Many of you mentioned kids category. This is a great category on Allegro overall. What you can see here is just that probably not enough EEA sellers provided products in kids category. So that's a really nice that's a really nice opportunity for you, because we would love to see more companies from this category. Honestly, these are products with great potential. And I also asked my colleague from fulfillment about categories that are really great within fulfillment, and what some of like tips and hints he would give to new sellers. So for home and garden category, he says that it's very important to clearly state product dimensions. Yeah. So give it in your orders, because give it in your offers, because then obviously it will help your buyers. But on the other hand, it if you provide it clearly to us, it will help us tell you how much space you need and tell you if you can sell bigger products or smaller, what you can do with it. It's very important. There is seasonality to this category, so make sure you make sure you highlight these seasonal products to address customer needs and to boost your sales in some peak seasons. And when it comes to, if you think about fulfillment costs, you can optimize your costs by providing seasonal products and not keeping things that won't sell in that particular period of time within our fulfillment, because that's unnecessary cost for you. A very important point here: within one fulfillment, you pay for the space you take, which means if you think it through and if you put there really nicely rotating goods, you might keep your costs low while actually selling a lot of products. Like, you sell your stock, deliver more, and it takes the very same space, and it just goes on and on and on and on while keeping the very same space. So that's very important. There is also something like product scoring forecasts that help you meet customer expectations and identify best-selling items. I can see that someone said that a separate presentation about fulfillment with deeper insights would be necessary. Yes, if I were to talk just about fulfillment, then first of all, I would just grab my colleague and ask him to just come around. We would probably spend an hour and a half or 2 hours. But don't worry, I've got something for you at the end. In electronics, insurance is important. And I know that is important both for buyers. I want to make sure that my product is insured. But I also know that the insurance is important for our sellers who trust us with providing quite expensive, sometimes, goods to our warehouse. So I'm happy to tell you that within One Fulfillment, we provide insurance in the electronics category. Serial numbers obviously are important because they prove product authenticity. That's important for both sides. For three sides, I'd say. Yeah, for a buyer, for us, for Allegro, because we want to have authentic product, genuine product, and obviously for you. Return process, it's very important, and I'm sure you know it from all other platforms. Buyers want to make sure that they can return a product should they have any issues. And I wanted to give you like a twist on one category that would be totally different. That is the supermarket. I mentioned that it was one of the most successful ones when it comes to quantities sold. So it's not a surprise that it's also...
Well,
Yeah.
Emilia, maybe we just like need to speed a bit up. And as we don't have supermarket products here, I would say like just skip it and like focus more maybe on like home and living and fashion topics. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just to show you that small goods that rotate fast will be a good idea within the fulfillment. And because we don't have that many kids products within our fulfillment, supermarket category can illustrate how you can use this potential in other categories. In supplements, health and beauty, like I said, develops very fast, and these are small products. Kids, you've got many small accessories there, and anything that's small, it can do very, very well in our warehouse. So do consider that. And just to wrap up, actually, because I've talked about many things, there are different factors that influence your whole visibility and sales. And I want you to think about it as, let's say, a jigsaw puzzle. So you might not be able to get everything within the logistics area, but you might be able to get something in other areas. So we started with logistics. Good assortment, and a good delivery model is something that you need to pay attention to. Like I said, localization and good content is important. Happy to also say that Allegro provides automatic translation from English to local languages, so you don't have to worry about all those weird languages in here. Sales quality, this is something that you will know from other platforms. So in overall how you're doing, make sure that you provide good customer service and good ratings, etc. And promotion and advertising. No brainer. There are different tools, but there's no point in going into that now, especially that we've got no time. We would need a totally separate presentation. And I want to show you a few, maybe just like a couple of offers of some of our sellers to show you how they apply these things in real life. So you should be able to see my screen now.
Yes.
And I want to show you the official store of Gloryfield. An important thing, official store, this is something that we added as Allegro. It's not possible for yourselves to name yourself official store. This seller actually joined our official brand program, and that's how we mark this brand as an official store. This is visible to customers. You can see this badge and super seller here. That basically means that the account score totally is very high, and we add this badge to show our customers that this is a trustworthy and high quality seller, and we actually put such sellers higher on the listing. So this is something very, very important. And actually this seller has been with us for probably just like 6 months or 7 maximum, so not that long, and they're doing really, really well. If you look at the offers, you can see featured offers. That's like one of our promotion options. And if you use that, these offers will be higher on the listing, both in your own listing and in overall Allegro listing. And only then, let's say scroll down. Oh, and only then you've got offers without promotion options. Yeah, so it's important and helpful to do that. What you can also see here is the Smart badge. Again, Smart program moves you high on the listing. This seller takes part in Allegro Days. This is a campaign that's going on right now, very popular. So this seller managed to submit some of the offers into the campaign. So he gets this. This seller gets this badge. These products get more visibility, and they are shown within our campaign.
Emilia, what kind of like advertising cost would you like count into place if you want to start on Allegro and begin successful from the beginning?
It's tricky to say. This is probably a topic that should be taken separately. So if you guys are interested in that, please write on chat that you would like to get more information about advertising. Please don't just write me or something like that. I'll just collect all those comments and then make sure that you get details afterwards, because this is yet another big topic.
Great. So Christian, you can write it down in the chat and then they will come back to you.
And what I wanted to show you here, that also if you use Allegro Warehouse, it's going to be visible here. So this seller uses Allegro Warehouse, and you can see that they can provide very good offer quality as well. The description is very comprehensive. It's formatted. If you guys use integrators, it's important that you can do that as well, depending on like using different HTML tags. So you can edit that.
What are good integrators, Emilia? Do like Channel Engine, TradeBuy, do they work as well?
There are many different integrators. I can send you a link to our service provider network after the webinar. But what's important is that not all of them will have all the functionalities integrated. So for example, Allegro Fulfillment, that is not integrated by all of them. And because our API is open, it's usually the integrators that build the connection. So if you want to know whether the integrator added that or whether they are working on that, it's best to go to them and ask them. I know about some of them, like Baselinker. This is our local integrator, and they've got everything integrated. I think Channel Engine. Yeah, I would need to look into that right now because I know that a few of them were working on that. But I can also tell you that some of them get motivated by their sellers just coming to them and asking.
Great. So I think we need to wrap up a bit because we have 3 minutes left, Emilia, and there are like some questions as well. So do you have any summary or something you want to share with us? Because also we got some questions about fees per category.
So let me show you that. Just a final note. We do have place where you can find loads of information, and I will share that with you afterwards because you might want to explore it. And then registration is free of charge. You can use your international tax ID. There are no listing fees, so you can list as many products as you want. That's very important. You pay only when you start selling your products. And we also provide you at the beginning with a welcome program. So for the first few months, you might have no commission fees or free promotion tools, etc., or free analytical tools. You will get more information about welcome program after the webinar as well. And final slide, that is commission fees on Allegro for different categories, just to give you an idea more or less. But you will also get a fee calculator after the webinar, where you can just run kind of like a simulation, more or less, how much you would pay in your own category.
And there you can see, as there was a question before about like comparing fashion to Amazon. Amazon like has like 16%, 15% on commission and fashion, and Allegro has just 11%. So it makes it also much more interesting to start with. Do you have, Emilia, do you have any recommendations about home and garden products, fashion, beauty and care, which we had take part? Like where you would say like, oh, for this is Allegro really good for these kind of products, or for these maybe not so much, for example, like luxury fashion?
Right. So a few things. We've got Allegro Academy. This is a wonderful platform we've been building for the last 4 years. We've got free courses and webinars for sellers there, and we also added category-specific content there. So that's something you can go and check. But if you join fulfillment, like I said, you get this key account manager from day one, and this person will help you choose the right assortment. So they can literally go through your offer with you and tell you what might sell better, what will be the right pick, etc. So this is like one of a kind opportunity. And so these are the two sources that are definitely really great. And the third one is Allegro Analytics. This is a tool that we've built on real Allegro data. You can run all sorts of reports that literally analyze categories, check what your competitors within those categories are doing, and how you can match, how you can adjust your strategy, what sells well, etc., and analyze even individual offers. And it's actually free of charge for 3 months now within the welcome program.
That's amazing. So they can learn how to do it. So we have like, I would pick just a few more questions. We are already over time. So I would say already thank you for all the ones who take part. And I would just put in a few more questions. And if your case then longer, then it's amazing. Yeah. So first question.
Is the customer more or less eager on discounts versus the Western Europe market? Yes, because Central and Eastern European customers are a bit more price sensitive, but that doesn't mean they're not willing to spend bigger amount of money on really good quality pieces. So I would say these customers here want to get good value for money. If you've got a product that is, let's say, objectively speaking, more expensive, but it's also really good quality, then there will be people willing to pay this price. They definitely won't buy something that's expensive but not really good quality. And there will be many customers that are much more price sensitive.
Great. And we have another one. Let me check. There's one.
That's the cancellation rate. Cancellation rate. Not sure.
It means like, I think it means like, so for example, I am a seller and I have to cancel a order because I realized, oh, I don't have enough stock.
Okay. Well, yes. Well, yes and no. It depends whether your customer is tolerant and eager to see that, because technically speaking, if you sold something, then you are required to provide it. So there will be customers that are not happy with you saying, oh, sorry, I have no stock, and they might give you a negative comment. And a negative comment will influence your rating, and worse rating will move you down the listing. But if you provide really good customer service, and if you're able, like to communicate nicely with the customer and their understanding, then you will be fine.
Great. And then I would say let's have like one final question. It came like in like just a few seconds ago from Darius. What are the costs exactly? Or where do I find it? I would say, because I could imagine there's a huge list of costs.
Yeah, so if you would like to get specific details about fulfillment by Allegro, I would like you to now write on chat just fulfillment. I will take these of you who want to get it and pass these details to my colleague strictly from fulfillment. He will reach out to you and give you all the details, calculate costs, etc. So just write down just one word, fulfillment, in the chat.
Great. So what I think, because like I would say half of it already left because we are overdue, there also has been other questions about fulfillment. I would say you count them in as well as fulfillment information, right? And connect the people, because we all have your email addresses, and the Allegro team will come back to you. So I would say let's wrap it up, right?
Yes. So you will get the presentation and landing page after the webinar, probably like tomorrow or the day after, and also information what happens next. And we, as Allegro, we will reach out to you to answer any questions or help you with the account registration. So don't worry.
Perfect. So thank you for attending. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure today. And yeah, let's see you somewhere else, maybe on the K5 conference, ECD conference. Emilia, where do we meet you next time?
Well, actually, I'll be at the ECD by TradeByte next week in Munich. So if you're there, do come around. I'll be happy to talk to you because, hey, we're renewing connection with TradeByte.
Yay! So great. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.